Right, let's try this again. As I was introduced, my name is Chad. I'm from TripAdvisor in London. We have all Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I'd like to start off by thanking Damien for putting on such a fantastic conference here in Johannesburg and Cape Town last week. I'd like to thank Jozi for putting on such a spectacular speaker program over last week. And I'd like to send an extra special thank you to Mr. William Price. Where is he? Great guy, good friend, but what I really want to thank him is he dropped the F-bomb for me today. I'm usually that guy at the conference, so peer pressure is I mentioned the week that SH was on for speakers the last 7 days. We started off in Cape Town. We did the most amazing things. We had a day, I went whale watching, which I thought was going to be a couple hours on a boat, and you found a little seasick. Hopefully see one whale. It couldn't have been anything more. We saw probably 10, 12 whales. We saw hundreds of seals. We saw dozens of penguins. We saw a couple of great whites. And I saw half my dolphins cheating over the side. So, a really cool morning. We had some great nights out in Cape Town. Then we came here to Johannesburg. Never spent that much time. We had a 3:30 a.m. start yesterday where we went and had a hot air balloon safari, which was absolutely mind-blowing. I'd never been on a hot air balloon. The things that we saw were absolutely fantastic. We then went to Maputo, ate some great food, saw some people who were way better dressed than me, and went on, had some drinks. Really great time. All these fantastic experiences. The thing that hits home about South Africa as well, you're blessed with natural beauty. You have great things to do, you have fantastic food, great wine. The best thing that South Africa has to offer is people. And probably the least well-known thing about the country is the hospitality, the welcome that people get, not just from people in the travel industry, but from your population as a whole. Thailand is claimed to be the land of smiles, but I think you guys should probably put in a lawsuit and steal their thunder. When I found out I was speaking after Damien, I was a bit freaked out. Everybody here who knows him, I'm sure you'll agree, he's probably the smartest and funniest person they know. And I thought, you know, I'm not a great public speaker, I'm not that funny. My brain team would absolutely have my ass if I got up here and started showing videos of naked girls to music. So I thought, right, what do I have to offer? What can I do to keep you awake and engaged? And I thought, then I got it. I know exactly what keeps people awake at night, excitement, what gets you up on a Monday morning and thinking, I for the week is. Now, beginning, TripAdvisor, as Damien said, we're the world's biggest travel-specific website. And for years we've sat on the biggest pile of data towards. So we're not just asking how research travel, what they like to do. Just like behavior, exactly how research travel, exactly how to purchase. More about your business and about the traveler. So this morning, I'll quickly go through TripAdvisor, some stats about us, try and convince you to listen to me for the next 20 minutes. I'll then go on and give you some of that insight and research that we found from our travelers, specifically about South Africa and about housing. And then what I'd really like to get into is probably most appropriate and of interest for you guys running your managing your own small businesses, be it restaurants, hotels, managing attractions. It's how you can make the most of TripAdvisor, not as a commercial product. Obviously, we're a business, we like taking people's money, because that's how I'm employed. But for you as small businesses, we don't necessarily want your money, we want your content. Because that's how we have users coming to us all the time. So to start with, I'll get these out of the way pretty quickly. Who in the group doesn't know TripAdvisor? Anybody? Never used it? Okay, good. I don't have to spend that much time. Today we have 280 million unique monthly visitors to the site. We have 4 million accommodations and businesses listed with us, which is a pretty big number. So if you have a slow response time from our customer services team, that's because 3.999 million other businesses are coming to us. We have 134,000 destinations on site, and pretty intriguingly on this slide, our users are hugely passionate. They come to us to share their experiences and knowledge about traveling. So they come, and on average, they share about 90 contributions per minute. That's in the form of pictures, reviews, videos, and forum posts. Today we have 170 million reviews and opinions on the site, 17 million photos, and about 70 million people have downloaded our mobile applications. That's in the form of either the TripAdvisor app for phone or your tablet or dedicated study guides. I'll come to it a bit later, but our average review score overall is a bit over 4.5. In South Africa, up until very recently, February, we weren't engaging directly with the South African user. But in February, we launched TripAdvisor.co.za, which gives a localized experience for South Africans to have. So when they come on the site and search for hotels or flights, that's localized into brands, so it just makes it much more engaging experience for the users here in South Africa. And as I mentioned earlier, the world's largest travel site, I won't concentrate on this too much, but probably the most important thing to start, we're very much right. How do we use TripAdvisor? We used to think this was a pretty simple four-stage process. A chart, looked at it a bit more and found out it's a little more complex. So people come to us for awareness. They're not sure where they're going to go, when they're going to go. They want some ideas. They're starting a research process. It's about 4 months of travel, and they're thinking of 5 destinations. It could be a British person who wants to get some sun in January, so they're looking at Brazil, they're looking at South Africa, they're looking at Australia, and they're looking at Thailand. Then a bit further in, about 3 months out, they've narrowed it down. They're looking at 3 different destinations, and that's when they start considering hotels, because hotels are important to the experience. So they're considering one hotel in Cape Town versus one hotel in New York. And about a month out, they decide where they're going, and then specifically where to stay, where to eat, what to do, before the job. They then book where they go, and they take TripAdvisor with them while they're traveling. And that those mobile apps. So they're on app where they go. It's raining. And then they come back from their holiday and they return to TripAdvisor to share their experience. They write reviews, they answer forum posts, people asking questions, they put up their photos. And that starts this cycle over so that the next traveler, your next customer, reads those reviews and is inspired with that content. Some heavy stats. This isn't as scary as it looks. We worked with Tom Score in Q1 2013. To have a look at anybody researching travel. Then out of those travel tenders, who's a travel transactor? The people actually buying travel. It's the kind of people that you want to talk to. How then have these people making that decision? If you look at the percentages per market, the percentage of people who come to TripAdvisor while doing their travel planning and then purchasing is pretty huge. If we look at the UK, for example, 55% of travel transactors come to TripAdvisor in that research process. So that's a pretty staggering statistic. There's not many other places on the internet where you can run that many people. Over South Africa. Some really exciting news. Which accommodation rate? So if you look at this list, 1 to 10, but if you strip out the small guys, the Belize, the Maldives, the Mauritius, And just look at the big players in the global travel industry. South Africa is #1. An average accommodation score, overall accommodation score of 4.45 out of 5, which is huge. Give yourselves a round of applause for that's really massive. You look at some of the biggest travel products, France, the UK, the US, the average scores are not lower. So we looked at the top 20 markets viewing South African content on TripAdvisor in 2013. Out of all the views of South African content, South Africa domestically makes up about 41%. So if we strip those domestic travelers out and we just look at the international markets, these probably mirror your guests. They certainly mirror South Africa's inbound tourism figures. The UK is #1, US is #2, and then Germany, Australia, Netherlands, down to Mozambique at 0.6. UK is the biggest in Europe, followed by Germany and the Netherlands. And 48% of international views come from Europe. How have these content views changed over the last 12 months? Not just what are the biggest markets, but what are your future markets? And I know it's a big buzzword for everybody, but the future for travel in South Africa is overwhelmingly China. The last 12 months, page views of South African content from China have increased 70%. That's a huge figure. And that's not just because we launched a new product in China in 2013, we were established the year before that. That's just because travelers from China are looking further afield. They've heard about the message of South Africa. Also interesting, domestic views are up 12%. Whether this is because South African tourism is doing a great job with the Show Up campaign, still being ranked, there's a big increase in interest in domestic travel. Where else when they consider South Africa? So a lot of your big competitors are Kenya, Swaziland, your neighbors that offer similar products, like safaris, beaches, and things like that. When you actually look at user behavior, that's not the case. Your biggest competitor when it comes to people looking at South Africa and then looking at other national destinations, the US. After that, it's Italy, and then the UK. I mean, I don't know about you, but the UK and South Africa don't have a huge amount in common. When I'm back in London, I don't get amazing meals, and then I can get on a plane and see lions. It's just not on my list. If we break that down on the right to international cities, so people aren't looking at other cities necessarily within Africa. I'm sure down at the bottom of the list you have times probably a bit higher up to Livingston. They're looking at London, Dubai, New York City. You're not competing with your neighbors necessarily. You're competing on a global scale. Probably of interest is when people are looking at South Africa, where are they looking? Overwhelmingly, it's in Cape Town, but Joburg is in there strongly as #2. This is some fresh data that I'm very excited to be sharing in South Africa for the first time. We have looked at it, excited to see how people are converting. This is really important for you guys as business owners. Sure, they're looking at the content on TripAdvisor, but how many of them are actually booking travel products within South Africa? So 71.6% of people who researched South African accommodation then went on to book a travel product within South Africa. That's absolutely huge. If you look at the sheer numbers of people looking at South African content, almost 3/4 of them booking. That's a huge number of people coming on in South Africa. High yield spending destination. A bit more specific in the Gauteng, just for you guys who are locals. The figures aren't hugely different. But here's where we are in terms of content. So you can see you have just more than 1,000 B&Bs, 1,800 restaurants, but oddly only 402 attractions in the province. You know, I spent a very full day with William and everyone yesterday in South Africa, in Gauteng, and you know, we experienced at least a dozen. I imagine there's a lot more to do in Gauteng than just one or two things. So that's where you guys come in. Make sure your businesses, products are listed on the site. Once we get that content, that makes the case for travelers to be a destination over, say, going to Cape Town, or we're going to Rwanda, or we're going to Kenya. And really great at the bottom of this, you see exactly how interactive our users are. They're really interested in finding out what there is to do with content, places to take their families for dinner, wildlife experiences. We have over 3,000 conversations happening on TripAdvisor. And you guys as a local industry can get involved in those conversations. Make sure you're aware of what people are asking. Answer those questions. Make the case for your destination. The top 20 markets viewing content, not hugely different from what we saw for South Africa in general. A bit higher domestic travelers. So almost half of the page views are coming in South Africa. Then it's the US, UK, Australia, Germany, pretty standard. And this is the competitive, pretty much the same thing. So you're competing on a very global scale. Stop thinking regionally. Stop thinking just the African continent. Start thinking you're competing against New York. You're competing against London. You're competing against Australia. Right? So that's most of the stats out of the way. You can all sigh. I'm glad you had your coffee. So how is TripAdvisor working with South Africa? We're really happy to have been working with William and team South Africa Tourism for 6 years. 6 years. We're happy to be extending this in 2014 or 2015. The main element recently has been the custom hub that we built for Meet South Africa. So we had this running in 9 markets, multiple languages. What South Africa Tourism really wanted to do, they wanted to create something fun and interactive. They want to let the users, while on the research stage, experience some of what there is to do in South Africa, not just the wildlife, but push some of the aspects of the countries that people don't know about as much. Culture, luxury, food, wine. So we made an interactive map. We put in lots of SATs, fantastic content in terms of video, photos. We also gave our users the opportunity to share. So they're sharing their videos, they're sharing their photos. It's co-creation, like William and the thing we were talking about earlier. Very interesting this year. South Africa Tourism was the first destination in the world to sponsor on TripAdvisor.com and all of our other domains. We put up a picture of Cape Town using the great image of the table. And we were really shocked. Amount of response that we had from our users sent up convinces our users to pick their destination. So this is just over the last year. If we look at this comparison from when we started working with SAP to now, it would be even more staggering. You can see from 2013 to now, the number of B&Bs listed restaurants has absolutely shot up. So that's how we're working with South Africa Tourism. Now for you as a local stakeholder, how do you make sure to make the most of TripAdvisor? So all the things I'm going to talk to you now about are absolutely free. All that you need to do is a little bit of effort, and you can see how this can help your business. Right, very basic here. Hopefully, almost everybody here has done this. Register your business on TripAdvisor. This gives you access to our management center. So not only do you have access to all of our tools, see who's reviewing everything, but from a very basic level, monitor your reviews, engage with our users, your previous customers, and promote your business. It's really simple. You go to tripadvisor.co.za/owners, and it'll walk you through the entire process. If you're a bit non-tech savvy, we create videos that will actually run you through the whole procedure, and it shouldn't take you more than half an hour or so. Right, you're listed on TripAdvisor. What do you do next? Obviously, you want to encourage reviews. These reviews are what people come to TripAdvisor to see. They want to find out what users are experiencing in your business, in your accommodation, at the restaurant. And don't be afraid of these reviews. So you can see Blackies Lodge in Cape Town, they have over 1,200 reviews and maintain 5/5 overall rating. I mentioned this quickly before, but to go into a bit more depth, people come to TripAdvisor overwhelmingly to share positive experiences. It's in human nature. Nobody wants to go on the internet and claim, yay, I'm an idiot, I had a shit holiday, don't do what I did. They want to come to know and brag. They want to say, look at me. It's just like the selfie. Look at me. I make the best decisions. I had a great trip. You should do exactly what I did. So if you look at what we consider to be a positive review, just 3 to 5, that accounts for about 88% of overall reviews. So don't be afraid of reviews. If you're confident in the product, you're giving users fantastic experience. They're going to come back and share a positive review. These reviews then affect your place. So this is done by an algorithm. It's pretty complex, but there are 3 key factors that affect your additional popularity index. First of all, there's quality. How are people reviewing you? There's the overall score, and there's also the sub-levels: cleanliness, service, value, location. Next, there's the recency. If you were reviewed lots of 5-star reviews a year and a half ago, but your neighbors are getting reviews last week, that's going to affect your based on popularity in business. And then lastly, we've got quantity. If you have a great overall average of events out of 4 reviews, you're not going to appear as highly as somebody who has a similar overall review score that they have 452 reviews. So encourage those reviews. We've got an amazing tool called Review Express, which again is something you can use for free. You give us the contact details of people who have recently stayed at the hotel. We then email them on your behalf from TripAdvisor and invite them to review you. This is a great tool because after people have been on holiday, if you as an accommodation provider send them an email, they're not that likely to open it up. They just finished their trip to South Africa. They've been to your business. They're not planning on coming back for at least a year. And they just hit the thing. They're busy. They've already been there. If they're an active TripAdvisor reviewer, if it's even an email from us, they're much more likely to engage with that. We make it as easy as possible for them to submit that review. They can do it within email. They don't have to navigate off TripAdvisor. And it just helps you get that quantity of reviews. It's going to help bump you up on popularity. So you're getting the reviews in, that's great, perfect. We give you a way to respond to those reviews. So whether they're negative or positive, it's a forum for you to publicly get your side of the story across, to thank people for the review, or to maybe say, okay, I respect the review, and here are the points I'd like to point out. So here's a review here. It's from one of our users from Thailand. They said I had a great stay in the hotel. One of my favorite things about it is the location. I love street food in Bangkok. And one of the most amazing places is just across the street. So the hotel manager came on and said, so happy you love our property. And also, next time you're in town, don't just go to that place. There's 3 blocks over, there's an even better street. So these guys, it's not about promoting just to your property, just to your restaurant, just to your accommodation. Not about promoting local tourism. Only is that going to get more, in the end, more visitors to your property. You're going to benefit. So you have to think a bit bigger than just yourselves. And these management responses are hugely important. I can't overstate this enough. So we did some research a while back to find out how important they are. So unsurprisingly, about 3/4 of our users came back and said a management response makes me think that hotelier cares more about its users. It's a no-brainer. But even more important is a management response to a negative review. Sure, you've got this negative review, you may not be hugely happy about it. But responding to that in an appropriate way, it goes a huge way to making that relationship with the previous customer better, convincing future customers to review. You're taking on board 50%. The key point is whatever else, take it away. Then come back and write a positive review, or positive responses. Nobody wants to stay at a hotel on planet. Versus come on and lie about it. They had a crap flight and really had nothing to do with the product. Come on here and try and be upbeat, try and thank them for their feedback. If they made any specific points as to things that you can improve as a business, thank them for that. Say, we're going to take this on board. That hotel looks bad or maybe. So yeah, you can see it as an opportunity. It's a positive review. It helps you to upsell not just your property, but your destination. It's a negative review. It helps you to get your side of the story out to the user. The nice thing about these managers that once you post a response to a review, that's the end of the conversation. That your response is it. There's the review and response, and that's the end of the story. So with all of this, how is South Africa doing? Unfortunately, only 51% of accommodations registered with the management center. And easy, free, simple, helps you do your job better. Once we look at the overall positive review from our users, that increases to 65%, which is good. We then look at the properties that have been listed or have been reviewed in the last 30 days. It's only 27%. Really off season. It's not a shocker. It shows how these are people. one point to go away with is post management responses. Another really simple point, come on and add photos or videos of your business. You would be shocked how many people have listings on site who have either really, really bad pictures or no pictures at all. So as David said, don't come and show your fruit pyramid. Show some nice pictures. They don't need to be professionally done. Make sure they're from nice angles. It's not on your cell phone from 15 years ago. It's simple, easy. We make this as simple as possible. It's like uploading a picture on Facebook. I'm sure none of you find that too difficult. I hope. It's the same on TripAdvisor. I mentioned forums earlier. This is a great way for you to find out exactly what people are saying about Southampton, what they're saying about Gauteng, what they're saying about Johannesburg. And it helps you find out what the destination needs to improve on, what people are saying about your destination. Our users and local industry around the world are really good at responding. Over 90% of our forum posts have a response within 24 hours. And lastly, we have a new product called TripAdvisor Insights. For years, we've done lots of research on travel industry, without studies, commission studies. They've all been floating in random places on the internet. We thought we really need to have these in one place on the internet, so you guys as a local industry can benefit from us doing this. So we launched this. It's TripAdvisor.co.za/TripAdvisor Insights. If you have a free hour in your day, go here and find out what's happening in the global travel industry. It's a really good resource. Encourage your employees to get. So TripAdvisor helps the local community here in South Africa. So I've got a video here. It's not made by us, it was made by South Africans. So if you can hold the video now, we'll do the test.
I'm the owner of Vamos Township Tours and the founder of Everything Kids Project. I started working in tourism in 2007. I went to the freelance guide with different companies. And when I started meeting clients and talking to them with tourist tours, they were putting my name over the internet. At that time, I could not use a computer. I didn't understand how the internet works at all. And I saw the people now were calling me without me knowing. And when I asked them, they told me that they found my name on the internet. And I asked them, how did you do that? And they told me it's something called TripAdvisor. My business started growing more and more, that I needed more people to be part of the business. Today we formed a company called Vamos Township Tours. The Spanish word. Today's business has grown from driving an old vehicle, 20-year-old vehicle bus, and today driving a 2012 Hyundai H1. About 80% of the business you get is TripAdvisor. And without TripAdvisor, we'll never gonna reach where we are today. On the learned about TripAdvisor and what TripAdvisor does for the business. It was so amazing because now I did not have to say, I'm the one to me, I'll do the best job. The people who came were the ones who were saying this all for me. And what was amazing for me was this marketing tool was for free. You meet a client and you never see that client again or be able to guide a deep so when you meet so The children here go with all the challenges they are facing, which I know is a sense of for my first time to see people it was 2007. You can go out to the but those places which are you need to get gloves, to blankets, all this stuff, and the hospital advisor, all this so tell them now that we managed through the clients we can to supervisor and the funding and supporting the children from here. If you run a business, supervisor will take your business from the bottom and put it on top. And supervisor is a marketing tool that you don't need. All you need to do is to provide quality. And you provide quality that increases your business, it makes you more professional, and it attracts more clients. I always emphasize quality. Patience about what you and the clients will put your name there, and everyone will come to your business, and your business will grow. And you employ lots of people and make a big difference in South Africa like I did through supervisor.
Right, and that's thank you. We actually have a panel session asking me questions. That's such a great case study that we do it was project, and that was in Cape Town. The kids actually fantastic. So moving right along now, in the social world, everybody, as we've seen, is also excluded with Facebook. And that's an everyday part of their lives. Something that in short time it's been in existence was reached in South Africa, and now working in the Dublin office. So please welcome from Facebook.
I love you guys know it's such a cool day. I was actually I was like in taxis, traffic, the whole haze of the city centre, which is great. So I just wanted to do a quick exercise. Raise your hand and your phone, and I'm going to do a few questions about travel, so just quickly, or raise your hand. Don't be shy. Alright, cool. Who checked their phone? If you checked your phone and went into Facebook this morning, keep your hand up. Alright, cool. If you went onto Facebook and you saw any of your friends or family talk about travel, in any sort of form of travel, keep your hand raised. Alright, cool. So at least 80 to 90% of the room's hands are raised, which is great. And it leads me to a point that Facebook and travel and Facebook, you can put your hand out about it. That Facebook, or travel with Facebook, is synonymous. It forms a huge part of the ecosystem. Not just from people being able to share an experience, but from a content perspective, from the public actually creating content and uploading it to Facebook. So it's great. So just a quick introduction. Myself and the guys at Warwick, we're both based in Dublin, and essentially we look after the travel and e-com vertical within Facebook. So I will give you guys any of my details that you want. If you guys do have any questions with regards to any of the information I'm discussing today, please feel free to get hold of me. It's not a problem. So in terms of agenda, just 5 quick things that we're going to talk about today. Facebook being a major player within travel. Segmenting, focusing on the mobile is a huge opportunity. Segmenting your creative to reach the right target audience is critical for you guys. people often make the mistake of using one single piece of creative and sending it out into a broad communication platform. With different creative, different audiences react to creative differently. So you need to make sure that you are segmenting creative in such a way that it resonates with your audience. Stepping into that, we'll then be discussing the tools. So in terms of Facebook, it could be quite interesting to see how you guys do it. It can either be really challenging or it can be quite simple. So I'm not going to talk about every single spectrum that Facebook has in terms of the media that we have available, or products we have available to drive business. We'll be talking about the 3 key things that you guys should really take away. And then finally, talking about business. At the end of the day, likes, comments, shares, engagement is great, but at the end of the day, you guys are there to make money. So making sure that you guys focus on the real business KPIs and implementing that into Facebook. Okay. Stepping into what Facebook is, in terms of a major player. So Facebook gives marketers a great opportunity in that we have a huge amount of people on monthly stats. On Q2, essentially released 1.3 billion people coming back monthly, and 1 billion people accessing Facebook via mobile monthly. In terms of daily, 829 million people come back every day to Facebook. The great thing about travel is that it's global. You have a massive population in terms of real people that you guys can communicate to. So it's not just about reaching a broad audience, but again, to many creators so that you speak to niche market segments within your business itself. We're going to talk about mobile in terms of the next couple of slides and how important it is. The internet has shifted from desktop to mobile and tablet. So if you're not focused on mobile, or you don't have any mobile optimized access mechanisms for communities to get involved with, you guys aren't going to do well within Facebook. You have to make sure that you guys are mobile, especially with sub-Saharan Africa, for example. So it's key. The great thing about Facebook and the wins that we have is that you guys are speaking to real people. You're not talking to cookies or proxies. So a cookie is like the tracking code that most websites have. Facebook have real people on it. So, quick question. The first thing you guys ever did when you registered on Facebook was, besides talking and checking ex-girlfriends and boyfriends, is you registered your email address, your phone number, your likes and interests. So we know exactly who you are. You provide information for us to send content to you in an authentic way. It's where people find what really matters to them. It gives you guys a unique opportunity to be within their newsfeed every day with content that's relevant to them. The problem with it is that there are a lot of people. Massive amount of people. And the real issue is reaching the right people. So you have to make sure that you're speaking to the right people. If you're not speaking to the right people, you bring products in the wrong place. Product placement is great, but if you're not reaching the right people and you're not putting the real products that really matter to that person, it's not going to work for you guys. It's going to fall flat on space. The other great thing is that we're talking to connected people. And these connected people, in terms of the travel cycle, do a few things. They share, they book, they experience, they reflect. So in terms of the travel cycle, it's often a place where people dream. It's where they discover things that matter to them. Facebook is a great platform for discovery. It's a great platform for brand building, as well as direct responsible e-com, driving real business. So again, for you guys as a travel businesses, how are we going to reach the right people in the dream phase, where they're starting to plan vacation, or they're trying to gather information on where they should be going? How are you going to reach people when they're starting to plan what creative are you going to send to them? How are you going to target these people? Finally, how are you going to book with them? Or how are you going to get people to book? Are you going to send them off Facebook? Are you going to integrate a mobile application where people can actually literally purchase the product via the mobile app? Your landing pages, you need to make sure that you optimize so that you don't have 4, 5, 6 little pages goes through before the actual sale is completed. Remember, we are lazy. We like to click, keep it simple again. And then finally, reflect. Allow your community or the people you reach to share their experiences at the end of it. As Damien was, they're sharing your experiences, they're talking about things that have happened in their lives. It's not push marketing, it's pull marketing. So make sure that you play in the sphere as well. So just talking about reaching the right audiences. Facebook has 3 key pillars targeting that you guys can use to really reach people that recognize as a business. And it's not as you guys think. If you were to imagine a beautiful building, imagine Facebook targeting its structure. The first pillar is reach the real people that matter to you as a business. So I mean, it seems very simple, but most people reach to 35-year-old, and that's my target audience. But as a travel business, maybe you want to reach an 80 to 50-year-old male who lives in Gauteng, who has recently moved here and is interested in the experience that Gauteng has, and then goes to TripAdvisor. It's a nice foundation. It's a nice framework for you guys to work with. The second pillar is what's called where Facebook's working at the moment. In that, custom audiences allow you as marketers to integrate your offline data. So if you have a physical database available and you submit that database to, for example, people that have been to specific way emergency approach works. You actually have a sniper approach using marketing capabilities. Really, really effective. The best businesses on Facebook get the lowest cost per conversion in terms of actually selling products or building brand by integrating custom audiences. It's a key part of using Facebook. The final part is lookalike audiences. We developed lookalike audiences to enable you guys to extend your reach. Because what happens when you integrate you, and we have a high percentage in terms of matching, it's usually like 80%, but you do sometimes reduce your overall size. Lookalike audiences allow you to extend that by finding people who are similar to those that exist on your database. Hugely, hugely beneficial again. So the likes of travel stars, for example, use these targeting capabilities and drive conversions. So again, they target people in the dreaming phase, they target people in the planning phase, and then they send people effectively through to the booking phase by using these three foundations. It's really, really critical. This actually allows you to, at the end of the day, reach people that are really going to buy your products and that really matter to you as a business. So it's not just about reaching 1 million people that maybe buy one of your products, it's about reaching 20,000 people that buy 30 to 40% more of your products. And then scale at the end of the day. Mobile. It's amazing. So 12 months ago, Facebook admitted that it was on the mobile company. We knew that, and we changed it. So most of the people Twitter, TripAdvisor, all of them. Make sure that you guys go all so over time, technology immediately. So applications are key. You start looking at how you capture mobile. Are you going to build mobile app that you can reframe or reskin how you can get people to use the internet and mobile and spend on Facebook. It's quite an amazing stat, right? You would never have thought that. So what does that mean for your marketing strategy, your media strategy? So we work really closely with media agencies and creative agencies, and we have a fight with the bottom line in digital because consumption of media is changing. People don't have 100% focus on TV anymore. Who watches a legit ad? Legit, right? Best show in the world. So you would actually go to TV and you would sit on TV and you'd have 100% of your attention. Today it's different. People check their mobile 14 times every single day. It's the first thing that people do when they wake up. It's the last thing that people do when they go to bed. Because you want to know what everyone is doing. You also want to broadcast your life. It's where you share, it's where you diarize. And it gives us as marketers a unique opportunity to have more exposure over a 24-hour period than any other platform, digital channel on this planet. It's fantastic. So going back to what I was mentioning, the team, lounge, and you want to spend 100% not just that, it's into prime time, but who last has ever seen anyone walk into Checkers or Woolworths with their Samsung radio? I've never in my entire life seen it, but what I have seen is people going to the banks, shopping, airlines, waiting areas, and check their TV over and over. The great thing about online, especially Facebook, is that it enables you to obviously be within people's newsfeed every part of the day, from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. Extend your reach past just prime time. So now again, we enable digital marketers to sort of arm their armory with knowledge. They know that consumption is changing. Bottom line isn't as important as it used to be. Facebook on a daily basis in South Africa has more reach than every magazine combined. It's bigger than the Sunday Times, just on mobile. When you buy your media space, how you create awareness with that? You need to start thinking. You need to start changing and adapting. Getting started is easy. It's not that complicated to be on Facebook. One of the first two things is you're either using an agency to run media campaigns, or you've downloaded a software or a piece of software called Power Editor or Ads Manager that enables you to either buy Facebook media by credit card or open an account that becomes invoiced through Facebook, and you have your own account management team with Facebook to guide you guys through it. So we're there to support you. We're there to make it easy for you guys to understand the platform and the benefits it drives for you as a business. So just going into one of the two products that we have available for mobile. And the key focus around mobile is applications. Most of the biggest companies in the world are using them. For example, SAA, a mobile app. All the apps you can book, you can check in, you can do everything through this mobile app. How do you drive critical mass if no one knows about your mobile app? You obviously advertise. We advertise the product. Facebook has its availability. So now you kind of understand who your audience is again. And you work with marketing strategy, and you work with creative, and you introduce a product called the mobile app install app, which is a one-click destination to iOS or Google Play to download the actual application. The great thing about this is, as you'll see through the presentation, is that you can measure the cost of your install. So what are you willing to pay for people to actually download the application? That is the key KPI that you need to understand from the beginning. Second to that is, once downloaded, that's fantastic. 1 in every 10 apps downloaded is only ever used once every 6 months. Imagine spending $1 million on an application and no one uses it. It's silly, right? But then again, when you have new campaigns, you need to spend money on investment in terms of media reach. You need to do the same for your mobile app. You need to create engagement. You can create engagement on specific key pages within the application by integrating a piece of software called the software development kit, or the SDK. So, maybe a TripAdvisor in a chat, you go onto one page, you want to book, but maybe your wife walks in and it's an anniversary, you don't want to see it, and you move off the site. When you go onto Facebook again, we know that you need to TripAdvisor. You link to that specific page within the application, and we then send you another ad that says, hey Chad, see you wanted to get there, what about these 9 at a time? That's how amazing your targeting capabilities are. Segment. So I'm going to speed up now, I've got 10 minutes left. Segmenting creative is essential. As I mentioned earlier, you can't just send a beautiful print ad to everyone in the world. You need to tailor it for specific audiences. So we work with Coca-Cola. Who here has ever seen America's Beautiful, the online video ad that they hosted? Yeah, so one person, 2 million as well. Cool. So they wanted to tell a story about America. Is that there are many different that speaks to one population, and Coke didn't. They developed a TVC that was focused on specific audiences within America and sent it out as America is Beautiful. So just a quick 3-minute clip. That's like amazing TV ads, which is great. They don't spend a single second on TV. And only online. So what we did, what did you guys notice about the besides having in the TVC? So they cut it into segments, just the LGBT community or Asian markets, as well as surfers, for example. And we sent this video to those audiences only at specific times, generating over 300 on half the budget that they would have used for TV. So not just that, not just knowing who your audience is or cutting it into different segments, is knowing how to talk to them. So creative agencies, they pay copywriters to do this job for you guys. Or if you don't, you can copyright yourself and make sure that you are relevant to your audience. So you can see there, that specific video has specific copy directed to a specific audience. Speak to the people. Facebook is about people. Know who your customer is, the person that is going to purchase your product, and send emotive, authentic, creative to them. Not just a push marketing with a beautiful catalog of 300 line-long copies. It doesn't work anymore. Just another example there. So using the right tool. So over the past 12 months, we've really focused on driving key products for businesses such as travel. I can't really talk about any of these products today, but you know, time focus on the three key things that really matter to you guys, or that you should immediately consistently use across the trainers, consideration, conversion, or actually creative. The beautiful thing about Facebook is, as mentioned, it's about people. We're not talking to cookies or proxies or anything like that. We know exactly who you are, and we can integrate your information to reach the people that matter to you further. With that, gives us a level of accuracy of 89%. So we know that 90% of everyone we reach is the person that matters to you across the social media channels or digital channels. It's a huge, huge advantage of focusing on people. All the products that we develop as Facebook are focused around the people that use our platform. If we create a terrible product and we send all brand communications organically to everyone's newsfeed, what do you guys do? Never use Facebook again. We need to make sure that we're looking after the people that use our platform. So just a quick example of how you can segment audience. And I use this specifically for business travel. You can segment your audience based on travel pattern. So you can go into your customer database, you'll see certain individuals time, what flights they use. I'm just okay. And then obviously company keywords, so LinkedIn, Airbnb, Uber, for example. Creating these key statements, ensuring that you reach the right people again. And then education, if you want to focus on that as well. So people that have PhDs, people that have gone to first or UGA, or Oxford, or IMDs, you can formulate these audiences. I spoke to London, who's my script writer, has told me that I can formulate an audience using these audiences and send Grant another trip that you might be interested in. Hey Grant, check out the London Festival in London this time of year. Might be interested. Amazing! One click through to a booking site, Grant's booked another flight. Sales. So it's really, really key. Best thing is that we are able to place that media with people's news feeds completely 14 times a day. So I'm going to go through this quickly because the clock's time and I need to hurry up. In terms of customer audiences, if you guys would need a bit more explanation. So you have your customer relationship as a space, our audiences, what we do is we overlap, we find match parts. And your presentation was amazing, and I got really excited because you can measure ROI on social media. If you implement to drive further efficiencies down. Not just that, on the mobile side of our products, you can integrate the SDK, which allows you to measure in-app actions, so what people are doing when they're using your application, as well as measure installs, and then target people to drive further engagement. And finally, third-party measurements. So, from a brand building perspective, we can measure brand people. We can measure top-of-mind association and purchase intent by leveraging the Nielsen's, which is the third-party measurement company that we use. So now I can go to South African Airways and say, you guys have a new product, you need to generate awareness. What is your metric? And instead of saying I want to generate 10,000 fans, I want to create engagement of 2%. Kim can tell me she wants to generate a 10% brand awareness or brand uplift for some product, and we can measure that. Further down the purchase funnel, there's an independent conversion list. I can now measure sales and correlate brand uplift and sales. It's all available. So, I think is what matters to you the most. Sales, product uplift, customer loyalty, retention. What is the real business metric that matters to you guys? Do you want to increase market share? Do you want to increase sales? You want to create a brand with
Thank you. What was said is a real process of evolution. A huge shift from pure search to websites and becoming a major media company across multiple platforms and devices. So rather than me explaining to you, I'd like to introduce questions that Google Translate.
I'm just going to ask the guys to do one thing for me. Spin the video. I think a bit of logistic problem. How crazy true is that? Think about what it was like. I always picture what it was like when I was a kid. before I start, actually. Let's start with this. Anyone know what this is? So there's some stuff here. On Google Plus and make sure I get the reviews and manage everything. So what Google's done in the last month is launch something called Google My Business. And what's great about it is you go to one spot, and on that spot you put all the information about your business or hotels, whatever you want. It allows you to manage everything from one spot. It allows you to even check the traffic and how many people are visiting, what the search is like, and how many views and shares and reshares. And the best part about it is that you get it and all your details there. What happens? You're discovered online. When people look for your products, you're instantly there. And it works not, it just takes the pain out of everything. And the best part about it, you get the whole right-hand side. In brand terms, that is just like buying a prime-time carte launch media advertising, and it's free. So you get it out. And then from that point, people can start going, actually, you know, I want to get directions from where I am to where I want to go. I want to look at the reviews. I want to see what other people are saying. I want to look at reviews from other platforms. I'm going to get to that. Why it's so important to be on all the platforms. Share the experiences of your business. Do all of you do pretty exciting things? Do you love the businesses that you're in? Do you love what you offer customers? Show of hands. Do you? Show of hands. Sure. Can we get some espressos for this bunch? We have the greatest jobs on the planet. We get to be excited about South Africa. We get to make money while showing off the greatest country on the planet. I love this country. But why aren't we getting out there and both sharing our own experiences, our travelers' experiences? And the best way to do it is with YouTube. YouTube used to be, how do I do that? Has anyone ever got stuck? And the tent's ready. Awesome. I'm not much of a camper, but man, when I saw that, I'm taking my kids camping. This is legendary. Kids were like, Dad, we can start hiking and everything because this tent is already up and running. Well, I made it a 3-hour tent. Of course, it came to packing up. That was a different story. Look at the instructions again, it says 3 seconds pack up. 2.5 hours later, I'm still looking at it. But I was a fool. I went online too late. I went to YouTube. I said, how do I put away my 3-second tent in 3 seconds? Voila, there was a gentleman showing me how to do it. Sadly, there was 500,000 views of many people in the same problem as me. But that's what you know. It's the world's second largest search engine to Google. But now people are going onto YouTube to share incredible experiences. Thank you, GoPro. What I love about it, you can become this, where you can create this like high production video using a GoPro camera and your phone. And this example, which I love, by the way, if you get a chance, go Google a comms ad, and they literally throw a guy out of a plane, and they say, you've got
1-minute book. By the time you land, I want to see the booking in our system. But what a simple way to do it. Strap a GoPro and chuck someone out of the plane, and suddenly you have the equivalent of a 30-second TV advert, but you've done it literally for $200. But make use of it. Share your experiences. Please do not, if you own a hotel or B&B, just do a video of your room. 12 people know how cool my bedrooms are. Not cool. Then engage. We've spoken a lot today about engaging. We're dealing with real people. We're dealing with real people who want to dream, who want to share, who want to brag. Thanks to Facebook, we can now brag. My wife is the biggest bragger. And that's great. That's what we want to do. That's the whole point of social. Look where I am. So the whole classes, join that party too. So get onto it, brag. But what's more important is we've gone down the photo route. That's what we're passionate about. And why do we do that? Because we know rich, real experiences count. I don't know if you've all been to the Meet South Africa. It is a stunning example of how to do rich media photos. In fact, what Google's done is we have something called photo awesomeness. That's what your first time users like. In fact, you guys know Angry Birds by any chance? Yeah. Angry Birds, where you chuck an Angry Bird around, throw it around, try to smash up some pigs. Oh, I hate saying this. I'm not talking about my wife. Terrible joke. That's the user experience. All you have to do is drag and let it go. And then 2-year-old have young children, and they whip out your tablet, and they find Angry Birds, and you walk away going, I have a genius child. This child can play Angry Birds. That's right. It's designed for first-time users. And then you'll get the masters who are like my wife, who is on version, I think Star Wars 7, level 4852. She navigates between 2 gravitational forces from different planets and is able to work out the velocity of the explosion. Please put your phone down, sweetie. But that's what it's about. Make this experience simple. So go back to photo awesomeness. What does photo awesomeness do? It turns you, the user, into the world's best photographer. If we have any photographers in the room, okay, you don't have a chocolate,
okay.
Or you're going to have a lot of competition. So not everyone becomes an expert photographer. But that's what we want. We want to share these incredible experiences. So let's go to step 2. I'm going to ask you a quick poll here. Give me a poll in the sense of a cheer. I'm going to ask you 2 things. I want to see which one you are. Who's the technophobe in this room? Cheer? Yeah. I'm not saying you find. I mean, you're an expert of technology. Is there technophiles? Is it cheer? But what the hell are you guys? You're wannabes. Okay, who's a wannabe? So, my advice is, you want to go the next step. It's not good enough being good. You need to be the best. You're competing in such an incredibly competitive space. If you're just okay, that's fine. So immerse yourself. I'm going to share 3 tips or pieces of technology that are just going to change your world. And the first one is cloud. It's saying, guys, spend more time with your customers and less time on administration. There's technologies like Google Apps and sharing and collaborating that can be done on your phones and your tablets and your computers, you do not have to be desktop. You do not need to be an IT expert anymore. Just use this technology. It's cheap. It's free. It frees you up to spend more time with your customer. And if you can spend more time with your customer, you can be more inspirational. So look at that search result. I'm literally just saying, hit done. Look at the search of Joe. But all I asked of Google was, take me to somewhere cool in Cape Town. Things to do in Cape Town. That's how do you play at that level? Not simple. You need to be an expert on all digital platforms. Be an expert in social. Get your content out there. Be on TripAdvisor. Be on every single platform you can be on. Because what do search engines do? Search engines go around and they look for the relevant information that more people are going to be engaged with. And you're only going to be engaged with rich content. So the richer your content, the more that you're out there, the more you're going to be discovered by the bigger search engine. That's how you be the best. How about taking Street View to another level? Everyone familiar with Street View? Little tip. When you're on Street View next time, pick the favorite place, your favorite place in the world. Go click on Street View, and the way you do it is you go click on the street, hold your finger down, and it pops up with an address, and then it'll be a little Street View map, big map. It's like that. Click on it. Now, when you are in there, you'll see a little compass mode. Click on that. That is the most phenomenal experience, because from your phone, I can now start looking around, say Las Vegas Strip, and I can literally walk and look around, and it replicates what it's like to be in Las Vegas through the window that is my phone. Such a simple little thing. Now imagine if you can take the Street View experience and put it into your hotel rooms, put it into your foyers. I want to go in there and have a look. What are your travelers looking for? They're looking for great price, great service, great recommendations. I really want to see what the experience is going to be like before I get there. And then when I'm there, I want to go and share it. I want to share it with the world. Where I'm going. Where you guys are at work. Anticipate what the traveler's going to want. So now, I'm talking mainly about international travelers here. They are going to come into South Africa, and they're going to use payment mechanisms. Payment mechanisms that they like using. So take this for example. This is Google Wallet. I love Google Wallet. You'll see why. I have the Dickens wallet. It's just full of receipts. That's it. That means spent money, not saved. And yeah, it's seamlessly integrated. So from my phone, I can pay for any event, any booking, anything that I want to use my own payment mechanism. They could be using PayPal. They could be using all those other payment mechanisms. Do not create barriers at that last point where they want to pay. Make it seamless. You might not be familiar with the technology, but they use it every day because they're immersed in the technology. Does anyone use Google Now? Google Now, superbly cool product. So if you're an Android device, you can swipe up on your phone. If you're on an iPhone, you're going to click on the Google app, and you'll see it starts to give you information. And what that is we're trying to preempt, we're trying to anticipate based on context, relevance. So where am I? What am I doing? What time of day is it? And give me the information I'm looking for. So in this example, it's probably looked at my Gmail and said, by the way, Rachel, I can see you're in a meeting, but your flight's been delayed. So I'm going to give you a warning that your flight's been delayed. And you can see the status of your flight. And if you want to, you can engage with the flight provider. But what you can also do is say, listen, your next meeting's coming up. You better leave early because I picked up that there's traffic. between you and where you're going. And it's fairly heavy, so I suggest you leave now. That is where the world is going. If you are not part of that, if you're not making your email newsletters or notifications, hotel free. Step 3, and this is the exciting part. So what is the traveler of the future doing? You see, you don't occasionally think about the future. The world just suddenly slips past you. You think, I should have done social. Yeah, that's great. 7 years later, you finally create your Twitter page, for instance, your Twitter profile. You know how much I had done that 5 years ago because I would have had 50,000 I could engage. So keep giving. Everyone knows what this is, I'm assuming. Google Glass. Let's do another poll. Let's do a chair as well. If you think that that person is so this is the problem sometimes with technology, is that you've got to push the boundary. And what Google's done is literally just changed the interface to mobile computing. It now sits in your peripheral vision. It listens to your voice and touch. And it gives you all this anticipated information. So there's a great feature where it uses augmented reality, and you literally say, okay, boss, where is the closest pizza restaurant? But instead of getting it in a listing format, it creates this compass ID, a compass view. So you literally look around, where is that nearest pizza joint? Oh, there it is, and it zooms in, and you have a look at it. You say, take me there, Google, and you follow the directions on your peripheral vision. Now, if you did not get steps 1 done at a minimum, you are not part of that new user experience. And imagine if someone had come up to you and said, well, then after Google last time, processes that are actually trying to be on these platforms where people are really important to be part of it. It's not just for the now, or I'm really good at it, but it's for what the future is. Get yourself ready for the future. Wearable technology. There are now 8 different types of Google Android wearing glasses from different manufacturers. It literally integrates with your life. It's not that. In fact, this is how far UX has gone. It's not just the same UX, but it fits into what you need in your life. So I like to answer the phone that's maybe going through my Google Glass. All I have to do is tap my watch, and I can now speak to the person. So it's using different devices with different interfaces. And what they're doing is they're working with, fashionable watchmakers, and these watches are going to get less leaky and very cool. Same thing with Google Glass. It's going to be adopted, and it's going to be adopted at a much faster rate than we've experienced before. Everyone has seen a Google car. So Google is now a car manufacturer. I see we don't really have a badge on the front, but I'm guessing that's coming. And essentially what this is, there are 12 of these. And we've said, why don't we build whole cars with literally no steering wheels, no pedals, and you just get in. I want you guys to think about it now. What would 5 years like? In 5 years' time, what would it be like for rental car companies? who just had a whole fleet of these. And as I walked up through the airport, through arrivals, and I got to the outside, and along came this car out of nowhere. It knows where I'm going. I get in it, and it drives off, because it knows through Google now that I've made a hotel booking, and it's going to take me straight to my hotel. So, I get to the hotel, and I drop my bags off, and the car's waiting for me, and I get back in the car, and I say to the car, damn, I'm hungry. I'm looking for the most scrumptious meal. The car takes me to the most scrumptious meal. But how do you become part of it? How do you make sure that you're there? So when that scrumptious recommendation comes along, and the car says you're going to go to, I don't know, scrumptious meal, burgers, not McDonald's. Be ready for the future, because this future has been driving 1,000,000 miles already. It's just legislation that we're going to pass. My final note: how do we package experiences in carpool? And what I love about technology, and I choose that word very carefully, is that this is technology. A piece of cardboard, because of cloud technology or internet technology, is able, literally, it's packaged like this, it starts off like these, and it finishes, literally, as you assemble it, like this. And to get the experience, you just put your phone in there. There's an app. Scan this side, press it, downloads the app. And you get this 3D experience that is mind-blowing. You just remember, I could just turn my phone and look anywhere through my phone. Now, literally through a 3D environment. Wow. X-ray vision as well. That's maybe that's the future of packaging. The experiences. We might be going also just like
Thank you, Brett. Thanks very much. Okay, our final platform before we break for lunch. Curious for your choice of businesses destinations. Sometimes I get the most negative response to Twitter. Twitter is incredibly powerful. Something that you can learn very quickly to use effectively for your business. And it has very, very strong connection to real-time information. So that's very strong to tourism. So please have with us Sonia Patel. She's the director of Twitter Exchange for APAC.
No, it's IMMERSE.
Taste of South Africa courses here. She's determined to come back again. So please welcome to the stage Twitter Sonia Patel.
I don't have amazing cardboard. I have plastic. I don't have Google Glass either. And I have an outdated, or soon to be outdated iPhone. I'm going to try and dazzle you with Twitter and the stories that we've seen on Twitter. So when I was at the test event, I came on stage with a selfie stick. Unfortunately, I actually don't have that selfie stick with me right now because I was asked to donate it to a 6-year-old girl and I couldn't refuse that. What actually happened when I took that selfie stick out was many people didn't know what it was. Who doesn't know what a selfie stick is? Wow. Okay. I guess it's a great opportunity for quite a few Chinese folks to be starting putting that in. A selfie stick basically is a piece of plastic and metal that allows you to put your phone into this stick, hold it up, and you can actually then start showing off how the back. So when it comes to bragging, that's a great piece of plastic, stroke metal that you can have. What was interesting about this was that when I was on stage, and I put the stick up, took a shot, and basically then started talking about Twitter, in that time frame, something interesting happened. Damien, as you can see, if you really can't see it, there it is. So whilst he took that picture, he tweeted that out, and what actually happened as a result of that was we had James from Cape Town basically going, well, there's a picture. James from Cape Town decided to try and find out where we could buy a selfie stick. He found something called Selfie Sticks SA. He then obviously communicated where could we buy a selfie stick from. They came back, and as you can see right at the bottom, he actually specifies to the audience, this is where you can buy a selfie stick. Now that was amazing because this is a single entity proprietor actually starting to engage with something that's free. That's pretty interesting. So, then what happened? Now I'm really worried because I wanted to come up on the stage and actually show you selfie sticks and actually make the photo more. I'm kind of glad I say, tell me where I can get one from, or can I have one ordered, or can I have one right now? I'm happy to pay for it. To use that transfer. They gave me let me know. Now, what was really interesting about this happened in the space of a day. So not only had we helped the local business, we promoted selfie sticks, but what was more important was we engaged with somebody who had a single business. I think that in itself says, finishing my presentation right here, right now, because I think that point has been made clear. That gentleman has nothing to do with travel, but he realized that he forms part of the ecosystem when we think about travel, right? I think one of the challenges we have is, well, I work in the tourism board, or I work in the airline, or I work as a local hotelier. I'm just thinking about my business. You can't do that. Travel is an entire experience. I'm not coming to stay in a hotel. I'm coming to actually immerse myself in South Africa, immerse myself in Cape Town, Johannesburg, Pretoria, anywhere. Just really think about being here, living by a local. We don't necessarily want to travel and just see the business kind of look like it's about. So these are some stats, sexy. By the end of this talk, there's going to be over 3,000 mentions or tweets about vacation. Every second, someone's tweeting about their hotel. Every 2 seconds, someone's tweeting about their flight. So, exactly going to the instance, what we do in social media is the best because they came up with the selfie stick. I think the other thing is that, living in Asia, I feel like I'm really tall there. But coming over to South Africa, I'm really short. I purposely came here with Twitter other trainers on in case I had a problem with noticing who I am. So I really wanted to engage with you guys. Really is essentially the fact that every tweet of something 5 essentials. I couldn't do it in the 3 that Fred had shown you, but I'll try my best. Has anybody heard of the Will I Am Not story? Yeah. No, okay. Will I Am was a musician in the US, and he was in the United Airlines lounge, and was pretty much turfed out. The reason he was turfed out was they didn't believe that he actually was the owner of the lounge car to give him entry into the lounge. So they didn't recognize who he was, which is never a great thing. So the first thing you must do is know your audience. You don't need to know every single one, but at least you need to know the types of people you're engaging with. Obviously, Will, in this scenario, tweeted out that he's upset. They didn't know who he was. That was just negative for United Airlines. Okay. Who am I? So, my name is Saul Patel. There's millions of us, I'm sure. Patel is synonymous in the UK with Smith, so it's a common name. My parents are very original. They decided to name me Saul because Saul in Indian means gold. So you can imagine there's quite a few of us out there. If you're a company and you're trying to engage with people like me or people who have certain types of habits, how are you going to do that if you don't know too much about your audience? So, businesses are social media enterprises, social companies that gather that information on Patel. Then I put in Song Patel Twitter, and that gives you Twitter handles. So, not really exact. Then I went and put in Song Patel Twitter LinkedIn because I work at Twitter, so maybe there's a LinkedIn profile. Not really there. There's about 20,000 hotels on LinkedIn. Then I went and put in Song Patel Twitter LinkedIn Singapore because that's what I did. Right at the bottom, you can see it says Song Patel, and there's a little bit of information about me that I'm from the UK. Now, as businesses, we have to do that. We have to aggregate data. So just having the person's information is great, but we need to know what their likes are, what their habits are, what they do, because we actually want to extend our conversation further than just that first-time approach. When we book hotels, we hope that someone's going to come back. If we start knowing a little bit more information about them, then maybe, just maybe, they'll come back to us because we're being a little different. We're actually personalizing ourselves to that particular audience. Okay, does anyone know what this movie is? I'm probably showing my age here. No? Minority Report, yes, fantastic. I made the mistake of telling everyone on stage this was Tom Hanks, which it clearly isn't. Tom Cruise, I should have had my good glasses on. Tom Cruise, in this movie, he actually uses, not prediction, but has the ability to scale all in one go, compute it, and basically move that information who a potential killer is going to be. And then he uses that information to stop that killer. LinkedIn, Google+, YouTube, everything. Imagine how much we actually use all that information in different ways. And there's ways to aggregate that information up. It's really interesting because a good friend of mine told me that I look at Facebook like this. It's your friends, you're relaxed, you're kind of comfortable. And I look at LinkedIn like this because it's your business profile, your personal profile. Which basically hints to you that we think about the way that we distribute our data in different ways because we use it differently. I'm not going to talk about the heavy night that I had in Johannesburg on my LinkedIn. That probably won't happen in my future career path. But I'm not using it on Facebook. So that's what getting data, creating that information, and trying to understand who our users are. Okay. Traditional CRM. How many of you use this? Okay, great. Why I mention these companies here is because these are CRM companies. They're customer relationship management companies. They help you identify who those customers are. They help you manage the conversation. They help you also know how to engage with that customer. So you're probably using it in your own way. Maybe not these companies, but your own type of platform. Because you're trading information. Something really interesting has happened in this world, in this space. First of all, how ugly is that? Now, what I show you in the CRM world, a lot is changing. Is that this concept called data in our industry, in the advertising industry, we talk about data. Data as in information. But it's information that is basically trending from all these platforms that we have. And people, or companies in this case, are trying to collect that data. It's not big. I don't understand why we call it big data. It's actually more like deep data. So the song, hotel, LinkedIn, Twitter, Singapore, that's actually deep data. I'm using different types of keywords to identify who this person is. And it's also getting that information, and we're trying to bring all of that information together in real time. Now these companies, you'll notice, are actually buying some companies you may have heard of. And most of the companies that they're looking at or buying are basically companies in the social media space. So that tells you that if the big companies are looking at social media, something that we should be thinking about as entrepreneurs, something that we should really visualize in the next 10 or 15 years, that this concept of big data, this concept of social media, it's here to stay. And we have to think about how we can utilize that in a way that makes sense for our business. So Twitter itself has evolved. We're probably the baby, or one of the small babies of social media right now, and we're growing. But we know that we have to know our audience. And we have 255 million people who use Twitter right now, which we compute on a monthly active user base. But actually Twitter had something interesting. They purchased a company called Mopub. Mopub is essentially a mobile advertising exchange. You don't need to know too much about it, but I can guarantee every single one of you has Mopub somewhere as an SDK, a piece of information embedded into one of the apps that you use, whether it's Angry Birds, whether it's Supercells, Clash of Clans, whether it's OneKeeper. That actually has Twitter technology, which is coming from Mopub, a company they acquired. Well, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you because now Twitter is looking into that with Twitter, and Twitter is thinking about how you interact with some of the other apps you have on your phone. So it's learning to layer that information together and then show the right people who are going to click or convert. Twitter doesn't make its money from just having people tweet. It actually makes its money from advertising. We don't want to just do any kind of advertising. We want to make sure the advertising is smart. So yeah, non-Twitter advertising, non-Twitter publishers who show the same ad. That's what we're talking about. Two technologies. This is a real story. Frequent flyer ID, which I embedded, which I haven't used. That bizarre, which will later reflect on another story I'll tell you. They allow you 23 kilos as checked-in baggage. And they allow you, oddly enough, another 23 kilos as carry-on baggage. You can check this on their website and verify this, which I thought was really weird. Who is going to check in 23 kilos and then carry 23 kilos or up to 23 kilos with them on the plane? So that was a little bizarre. So anyway, whilst I'm out packing and getting ready and stuff, I get to the airport. I notice one thing. They had known that I had checked into my flight. They had known I booked my flight, but they had never sent me an email to say, welcome back. They didn't think that that was something that was important. And actually, I noticed it straight away because I would have assumed, having the fact that I hadn't been with you for 7 years, you would actually at least recognize the fact that I'm coming back to you. Number one, missed opportunity. Number two, as I got to getting my boarding card, I asked if I could just check in the additional hand luggage I had. Straight away refused, even though it was probably like 7 kilos. Refused, I had to pay another £54. They knew, they could clearly see I hadn't flown with them for a long time. They didn't use the expression. So, that was opportunity number two that did not go in their favor. What the point of that story was that it's very hard to be with someone. It's even harder to be with someone when they even if you're engaged and you've not used it. So in this scenario, if you're a hotelier or an airline company, you've got to think about that, because if you lose that person, it's not the fact that you can lose an experience too. When you think about brand and brand equity, you can't just break it down to one individual, because that one person can actually have a whole heap of followers, or be so upset that he or she actually starts making a noise about it. We have to think about how we constantly engage and re-engage. That's hard to do. It's not easy. Listen to your audience. So I know Damien stole my thunder regarding Pharrell Williams, but what was interesting about this was, is anyone familiar with Arby's? Thank you, Alana. You're probably the only one. Thank you. So Arby's is a big restaurant brand in the US, and they, in this scenario, were just listening to what their users were talking about. So they were looking at various different social platforms, just trying to understand what people are talking about. Funnily enough, people started talking about Pharrell Williams' hat. And the reason they talked about it is because it actually is and looks like the Arby's hat, part of their logo. So they thought, oh, this is interesting. They actually tweeted out to Pharrell, hey Pharrell, can we have our hat back? What do you think happened? Pharrell tweeted back and said, I'm going to actually sell my hat online. Whoever purchases it, all that money that you purchase it for will be donated to charity. What did Arby's do? Arby's actually purchased that hat, donated the money to charity, and then you can see on the left-hand side, they actually said, the CEO said, the impact of that one tweet is mind-blowing. Our PR firm estimates that the advertising equivalency would be 84 million impressions, with a $22 million, even outpaced the engagement on the Oreo Super Bowl tweet. It was our dunk in the dark moment. That was based on one tweet, which actually didn't cost them anything apart from the fact that they gave the money to charity. So it's pretty impressive. So Pharrell came back and said, you're welcome, we're happy you supported a great cause, etc. Now, Arby's, who is kind of like a McDonald's but an upgraded version, actually started commanding the brand loyalty from their users. And that's what we have to think about in social media. It's about getting people to come back to you, or getting people to refer other people to come to you. Second one is build a wider audience. There's no point in this scenario and then not having people actually sit inside it. So, how do we do that? Airbnb decided they already have their Twitter handle and they wanted to emphasize that. So they wanted to widen that audience. So they decided to expand their awareness of their sublet program that they have. And they saw this type of result, a 4% increase in engagement. That basically means somebody has either retweeted, has favorited, has actually ensured that whenever they've seen that messaging, they've actually extended that messaging further out. So we're talking about widening that audience. How many people between the age of 8 and 34 cruises. Not a lot. I mean, cruises I normally associate with someone who's a little more mature. But it's interesting because MSC realized that, okay, that's not who our key audience is right now, but that is going to be who our key audience will be in a few years' time. So let's start engaging with them. Let's find out what will make them move from not going on a cruise to potentially going. Or if their parents say, we're going to take you on a cruise, figure out a way that they can understand the types of activities they like. This was pretty good from MSC's point of view in terms of understanding we need to engage now and engage for the future. Tweet regularly. No point you having a Twitter handle or a Facebook page or a YouTube page if you don't actually start utilizing. It's all about communication. We haven't changed. You have to tweet regularly. I don't know what that can be for your business. I would say maybe no more than 2 or 3 tweets in the first month, and then you figure out how many people are engaging with you. You also have to figure out if it's something that someone retweets. If it's not, then you have to change the message, change the messaging. And you can tweet in many ways. Many people come to me on Twitter and say, I don't get it. It's complicated, you have this hashtag thingy involved, and you have this app thingy, I don't get it. I understand, it took me some time, and I'm ex-Google. So, one of the things you have to think about Twitter is that we have many different ways that you can interact. Photos, you can have a fine video, multi-photos, regeneration, it's a couple of things you can do. It's not just about hashtag this and at this. You can think about really engaging with your audience in different ways. And going to Damien's point and to Brett's point, video, photo, that's the stuff that people instantly look at. If you think about how we engage just on a personal level, think about how you look at your Twitter handle or you look at your Facebook page. Usually, I'm not interested in the blurb, but I want to see pictures. I want to get into bed with. You have to think about the photo because it speaks 1,000 words. And when you're a company like Twitter and we only give you 140 characters, that's something you have to really think about and engage with. Also, sometimes you're going to have people or audiences or users trying to ask you a question because they looked at your website, they didn't realize there was information in there that actually spoke to what they were asking. So they just tweeted out and asked this question. Have some time. I know social media takes time, and I know that you need some people believe you need to have somebody daily on it, but take some time out just to respond, because that potential audience could magnify the opportunity that you have, which goes back to the whole statistic conversation. Social media is viral. It's free. It's actually free. It's quite interesting because I usually get teased because I'm an Indian and working in a free industry. That's an oxymoron. But it's free. I always get into a conversation with people that are like, well, you have to pay. And I'm like, no, you don't. Your first path is content creation. Identify what you have. If you have something amazing like a great hotel room, hotel events that are amazing that make people want to do that. And it's free. And then if you want to amplify that message, then maybe use some advertising around that. Sometimes things don't go right. There's many conversations that you'll see on Twitter when things haven't necessarily gone all right with the brand. Make fun of it. Or opportunize it. And in this example, realize the whole game completely went dark. So in the middle of an amazing sports event, the whole, half of the stadium was completely pitched dark. So Oreo said, don't worry about it, and you can still dunk in the dark. Engage your followers and find that conversation. So these are 3 examples, and I love the first one. Just checked into the nicest hotel room I've ever stayed in. But there's a snorer next door, maybe above, at least that I'd better be snoring. I mean, that's an opportunity for somebody in the hotel to think about the fact that maybe we can offer another room, maybe we can actually give them some earplugs, something light and useful. Who knows what brand this is? Dove. Now, Dove, what is it really? It's soap. I don't care how many ways you slice it, it's soap. It's not sexy, it's not really sexy, it's just soap. Right? But what did Dove do that was so amazing? They didn't really talk about their product. They talked about something that's associated to their product. They talked about natural beauty. And they talked about the fact that no matter who you are, what color your skin is, what size you are, there is beauty within. And that was a movement that actually started, and it just extrapolated, and everybody started thinking about it. And it convinced a lot of people to buy Dove. So there's campaigns and movements. It doesn't have to be about your product. It could be about your community. Because the flight, the airline actually helps the hotel helps the restaurant can help with the tourism, about the events. This is how we have to think. Don't silo yourself as a business. Try and engage with your local businesses and see if you can actually help each other. This was really interesting. So I was in New York and I noticed, a couple of avenues and streets had about 25 different restaurants. And some of them had like 4 or 5 different types of burger bars. If I was a burger company, why would I want to have a burger company or restaurant? Why would I want to be in that same 25 block? What tends to happen is if this particular restaurant is full, people go to the next restaurant. Or people just want to go for a quick burger before they go to the cinema. So actually sometimes competition becomes co-opetition. You cooperate as businesses to actually influence each other. Can we roll the movie? This is another great campaign. This is beautiful. It's such a great campaign. Will the video play at least? No? Okay, I'll tell you what the campaign's about. I'm sorry that I can't show this. Quite a nice video, actually. And I'm dating I think we'll tweet it out. Oh, there you go. Just watch the video. I'm sorry there's no noise. Can we start from the beginning? Thank you.
Okay, on music.
This was a video. Have a bit of fun. What was interesting for VW was they were requesting brochures, getting an understanding of how fun the brand is versus someone else. It resonated with children and Dad, I really like that video, can we see it, etc. It actually started a conversation and started getting engagement. Who watches Modern Family here? Great show, great show. If you haven't seen this episode, I apologize, but basically there's an episode which basically takes the entire Modern Family clan. Because Phil realizes he has heritage in Australia. Qantas actually promoted their brand and went and talked to Modern Family about engaging an entire episode based on them coming over to Australia, but not just about their brand. They went into detail about how an entire family can engage in Australia. Australia tends to have certain types of audiences. They tend to go with backpackers or people who have just retired or we have a bit of a party in Sydney or various other places. One just said we want to do something engaging. We want people to think about this as a family destination. And so as a result, they talked to Modern Family scriptwriters. They got the whole process moving, and they created a movement around families coming together to Australia. Even though families in the episode segmented off to do various things, at the end of the day, it was about bringing the family together. I thought that was really interesting. ABM, sorry, Airbnb is on my mind. One of the biggest challenges we have when it comes to social media is actually the measurement. How do we know that that tweet results in X amount of buys? Because we might also be doing a Facebook campaign or doing something on Google. You have the ability to track. You have the ability to track all of the social platforms. And you have to sometimes change your messaging into various formats because it may not work on Google Plus, but it works on Facebook, it may not work on Twitter. If you think about that whole Facebook approach and the LinkedIn conversation I spoke about earlier, know your audience. Okay, so this is a journalist who went on a bit of a Twitter rant in San Francisco, discussing how many people are not happy. So what was interesting was Jetstar, which is based in Australia, decided to look at their database and find out the type of users that are actually, sorry, the type of clients who are coming onto their planes. And they realized that they're seeing a lot of business users come on. They're actually seeing the opposite effect. They're not seeing that many economy travelers. They're seeing people coming on business for various reasons. If it's a short haul flight, what have you. Business users carry massive bags. So they figured out that we have to think about what we're going to do when it comes to business users, how we segment that audience, to supply minutes, and how do we work through this. So they came up with a fair policy, basically saying that you can only mandate X amount of baggage, and we will have people sitting there making sure that this is the amount of baggage you come in. And the reason for that was because they did not want to up to the audience that they have. Because the business user may only stay for a few months and then go back into another airline. Or the economy travelers may have another route that's added on that they may fly to with another airline. So they wanted to protect the So, I just wanted to say, yes, and help you to grow your business. Remember, social media is free. It takes a little bit of time to think about content, but actually you can amplify your business. Thank you very much.
So before we break for lunch, just we're going to be running a competition over the next 2 days. Price weights. Say, all we need you to do is take a photograph and post it tomorrow and show us some shares, favorites, or retweets of that photograph that they take. If you engage with the person who's got the highest score. So get taking photos and get sharing and get that. So we're going to break over lunch now. We'll be back at 2. We'll try and make lunch really quick so we can keep us speaking several things white tonight. So we will stick to the break. So please welcome to lunch and see you back here at 2 o'clock. Thank you.